every quarter we get to look at what some of the biggest and the best investors around the world have been doing with regards to buying and selling in a specific quarter. And so in this video, we're going to go over 3 so-called super investors and their moves, their buying and selling activity. So number 1, I want to start off with Pat Dorsey from Dorsey Asset Management. They've got 9 holdings, a portfolio value of $777,953. Now I did make here a couple of big moves. So first of all, his biggest position is Meta platform, but that was reduced by 17.70%. The reported price here sits at $353.96, which means that right now he missed on 32.87% upside. With regards to another big reduction in his portfolio, that's Wix.com. That's 12.11% of the portfolio. The reported price was $123, which means it is now up 4.12% since he sold or reduced that position. The last big reduction here comes from Upwork. He reduced that position by 37.48%. That is 5.35% of the portfolio. The reported price here was $14.87, which is basically flat the price we're at right now. Now, he did buy a completely new position and he did add to another existing one. He added to Herc Holdings 19.34%. It is now 9.89% of the portfolio. What is Herc Holdings? Well, it's an equipment rental company that was spun out of Hertz Global in 2026. It is currently the 3rd largest equipment rental company in North America after United Rentals and Sunbelt Rentals, with a fleet size of $6.2 billion. As for Danaher, that's a new company, or I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce the name right, that's a new company in the portfolio. He bought, it's now 9.35% of the portfolio. What does that company do? Well, they're a leading global life sciences and diagnostic innovator committed to accelerating the power of science and technology to improve human health. In short, a conglomerate company. I mean, I would definitely want to know why he sold Meta. Did he think it was getting too expensive? Did he want to allocate his cash to maybe other companies, such as the ones he added during that quarter? Because it does seem like a weird move since it is still his largest position in the portfolio, and in my opinion, still quite a good play for the long term, despite the stock being up quite a lot. I mean, the earnings report we've just looked at, they were pretty solid. But as you will see throughout this video, some of the moves are questionable, but then again, they've got the track record to back it up, so who am I to question that? Now, before I continue, if you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if not, we really appreciate that. If you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Thank you very much. Now, super investor number 2 is Monish Pabrai. Very, very concentrated in materials and energy. He did open up a new position in another coal company called Warrior Met Coal. By the way, he only has, of course, 4 positions in his portfolio value of $248,126,000. He did add 200% to Arch Resources. Now, what is Arch Resources? Well, it was previously known as Arch Coal. Is an American coal mining and processing company. He did reduce 10.69% of Alpha Metallurgical Resources, which, as you guessed it, is also a player in the coal industry. It's actually a coal supplier with underground and surface coal mining complexes across northern and central Appalachia. I think it's safe to say that Monish is pretty big on coal right now. The reasoning behind that beats me. No, but for real, these companies have actually been performing quite well in the last year or so. And if you look at their P, if you look at their valuations, not that bad. So I do see some value in that. Up next, we've got the big guy, the big short, shall I say, Michael Burry. He has 25 positions, portfolio value of $94,592,000. And here, what I do want to focus on first is the fact that he added to 2 Chinese companies, Alibaba and JD, both of them, as you can see, the biggest positions in his portfolio. He added 50% to Alibaba and 60% to JD, which as of right now, he's losing 5 and 20% on both of those companies. He did buy a bunch of other companies as well, actually quite a lot of new companies. HCA Healthcare, Oracle Corp, Citigroup, CVS, among those that are above 5.4% of the portfolio. As for the big guys, he did buy Alphabet, he did buy Amazon, he also bought MGM, Advance Auto Parts, Warner Bros. Discovery, Vital Energy, Block, which I'm surprised he did. I mean, we're going to see what the earnings reports tell us in a week from now. He bought Toast, Brooker, Mettler Toledo, American Coastal Insurance, Big Lots, Gen Restaurant Groups, and Curate Retail Group, but that's under 1%. He did reduce some positions as well, 33.2% reduction in Nexstar Media Group, 16.67% in Bookings Holding, Bookings, Expedia, Airbnb, we've talked about that on the channel. And he did reduce 12.69% of Real, and then another 16.67% of Save Bulkers, that's just over 1% of his portfolio. But interesting to see that suddenly he flipped the switch and became quite bullish on a lot of big companies and a lot of tech companies as well. All right, better late than never, I guess. Also, I do think that we are spending way too much time on what this guy tweets about or what this guy said. Yes, he had a great call back in the great financial crisis, but other than that, even a broken clock is right twice a day. So yeah, there is that. But coming back to Alibaba and JD, I am seeing quite a lot of investors that are now buying a little bit into the Chinese stocks with maybe some stimulus coming, some stimulus coming into the Chinese economy. These companies trading at quite a cheap valuation, let's call it. Of course, there is China risk. We've always talked about that. But the fact that we're seeing now some of these super investors dip their toes into the likes of Alibaba and JD, something to keep an eye on. Up next is a big one. Terry Smith, Fund Smith, he has 40 positions, portfolio value of over $23 billion. Now, as you can see, he was also pretty busy. The majority of the movements here are reductions of his existing positions. He did buy one new company called Clorox, but that's about it. If we look at what he added, most notably, he added 49.89% into Fortinet, 92% in Oddity Tech, I have no clue what they do, 5.36% in ADP, Automatic Data Processing. We've talked about that once during a live stream because one viewer asked about that. A pretty interesting company, not gonna lie. And then he added a little bit in Home Depot, Johnson & Johnson, MasterCard, Zootis, McDonald's, and Apple. Obviously, not that much. With regards to the reduction in positions, the largest one, 8.16% reduction in Microsoft, 7.53% reduction in Alphabet, and then in plenty of other companies here as well. And so with regards to the top 5, let's say, Microsoft still sits at number 1, 12.50% of the portfolio, Meta number 2, 7.41%. Then if you got Stryker Corp at 6.91%, IDEX Laboratories 6.34%, Visa at 6.25%. Up next, moving into Howard Marks Oaktree Capital Management. As you can see, they were also pretty busy in Q4. So here as well, you can see they added to JD, they added 27.30%, changing portfolio 0.25%. They added 8.11% to Vale SA, which by the way is the largest producer of iron ore and nickel in the world. And here as well, they opened a position in Alibaba. This is already the third super investor that is pretty interested in Chinese companies and also in Latin American ones as well. Now, Oaktree Capital Management has 67 positions, has a portfolio value of over $5.3 billion. You might be surprised by the number 1 position in the portfolio here at 28.64%, called Torm. What is Torm? Well, Torm is actually a Danish shipping company. It is one of the world's largest owners and operators of product tankers that transport refined oil products and chemicals. Now, with regards to the Chinese companies, JD and Alibaba, as you can see, quite small positions in his portfolio. The majority, let's say the concentration, is really in those top 5, top 10 positions, which most of these names I've never heard of. But some of them are manufacturing companies, shipping companies, mining companies, so really companies that are quite solid. Then last super investor for this video, I'll probably do a second part as well because not everyone has filed their 13F just yet. And this one is Chuck Akre. Akre Capital Management, 18 positions, portfolio value of close to $12 billion. Now here, this is very, very surprising in my opinion. MasterCard and Visa, he reduced those positions by 13.48 and 26.92%. I've heard there's some new blood at Akre Capital Management, so maybe they are the ones that are making these types of moves, but very, very surprising that you're getting, or not getting rid, but reducing quite a big chunk here of those solid positions. But okay, let's see how that works out. They did add a new position to the portfolio, SBA Communications, which is a real estate investment trust which owns and operates wireless infrastructure in the United States, Canada, Central America, South America, and South Africa. And last two things here, although very, very small for their portfolio. Dollar Tree, that got reduced by 24.71%. Berkshire Hathaway reduced by 3.21%, which again, 0.05% of the portfolio. Not such a big deal. But the big surprise to me has to be Visa and MasterCard getting reduced that much. Maybe he doesn't like the valuation right now. Maybe he thinks that a lot is priced in already. Could very well be. So that will be it for this video. Do share your thoughts down in the comments below. Which moves were the most surprising to you? Let me know down in the comments below and let me know which other super investor you would like to hear from. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.